come on today. My name is Jessie Granlund, Partner Account Manager for Click Dimensions, and I'm pleased to be able to present to you the solution today. So I'm going to start off just reviewing a couple slides here, talk about Click Dimensions from a high level so you have a good understanding conceptually of what its capabilities are, and then we'll dive into the live environment in Microsoft Dynamics CRM and spend most of the time there today, because I know that's what everyone likes to see. So what is Click Dimensions? Click Dimensions is an email marketing and marketing automation solution that's built exclusively for Microsoft Dynamics CRM. And you can use this to perform end-to-end marketing tactics. So we give you all of this functionality listed right here inside the UI of Microsoft Dynamics CRM. So we're going to help you to allow the, measure the results of your campaigns, help you to eliminate redundant and manual processes, ultimately helping you make better business decisions with better data. And what's great about this is you don't have to go outside of CRM to do things like create email campaigns, track your web visits, build your web content like landing pages, forms, and surveys. You can do things like build multi-touch drip marketing campaigns. We have a lead scoring component, and Click Dimensions really enables your sales teams to have better data to act on, connecting to their prospects even through social networks. So what we do really well with Click Dimensions is help to bridge that gap between your marketing activities and your sales results. So this is a scenario that we hear all the time from marketers, people that are using a number of systems, creating major data silos. So maybe you're using something like Microsoft Dynamics CRM to manage your customer accounts, your marketing lists, something different for email. A lot of times there's no integration at all with these two. A lot of people are using something completely different for forms, for surveys, even for social, and nothing talks to one another. So what we do is bring all that information and all that functionality into one central place that sits inside of Microsoft Dynamics CRM for a full 360-degree view of your prospects and your customers. So this is just a diagram quickly showing how it works. The solution is built on Windows Azure, connects to the websites and your recipients' inboxes, and it tracks everything back into CRM. So from a user perspective, the whole experience of using Click Dimensions right inside CRM, all the data is brought into CRM in a way that's reportable and actionable, and it's all captured in real time. So what this means is that you can use all of the native features in CRM, like workflow, reporting, querying, dashboarding, to get the data to do whatever you ask it to do. You're never going to be in a situation where it's inaccessible by being in another database. So last slide here before I show you the live environment, just so that you understand from an email marketing standpoint, all creation and sending is coming from inside CRM, but Click Dimensions will handle the sending of the emails through our servers. So on the back end then, we track deliverability, sender authentication. Another really great feature with our tool is that you can associate a CNAME, so the emails are completely branded to your organization. So that way when a recipient receives an email, nothing is actually branded to Click Dimensions. So I'm going to actually jump right into CRM right now to show you what Click Dimensions looks like and where it's located within the UI of Microsoft Dynamics CRM. So I'm demoing out of my production environment today. This is CRM Online, and Click Dimensions work with CRM Online, CRM On-Premise, and partner-hosted versions. So where we sit is under this Marketing tab here. We add this Analytics and Email Marketing section. So here's where all of your web traffic is going to feed into. You're going to have all your form inquiries, your survey data coming in here in near real time. So we'll touch on that in part 2, and we'll kind of begin talking from an email marketing perspective right away. So here's where you're going to have your full email marketing functionality. You're going to be able to send out individual emails, bulk emails, and emails through workflow with CRM and Click Dimensions. You've got many different templates that you can use to create these emails, and if I go under email templates, this is where it's all stored. If you want to create a new email, you're going to hit New, decide which editor you want to use. We have 3 now, and 1 coming in our next release in October, which is going to be a drag and drop environment. But here's our block editor, our freestyle, or our custom HTML. So if you choose one of those editors, hit Save, you can go into the full screen editing environment. So you're never leaving Microsoft Dynamics CRM. And then just to show you quickly what these different editing environments look like, this is that block editor, our most simple editor. people that don't have HTML experience like this, because you can very quickly create an email, make it look nice without having any HTML experience at all. So this takes you through the wizards. It's a very guided tour to create an email. If I want to add content, you're going to add your blocks, add text, add images, add HTML if you want to. But this will take you to an image manager where you can store and save as many images as you want into this image manager, bring them into the editors. The blocks are resized with drag and drop. You can add your social icons into the email, change your background color. And what I mean by adding social icons, this actually will drop in icons for Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, and Google Plus right into the email for you. You can rearrange these, and then when someone clicks on that icon and shares that article with their social communities, you'll be able to see a report on that in CRM, which I'll kind of go to after after I'm done showing the editing environments here. But this is our _1 editor, the block editor. We also have a freestyle environment, so this is great for those who have templates that you just want to import into the layout manager. If you have something that fits your look and feel, you just want to bring the HTML file into a template so you don't have to start from scratch. You can do that here. This is the layout manager. We have tons of templates for you to choose from, and of course you can upload your own. A lot of people who go in and out of HTML or like HTML like this editor because you have the option of dropping in your HTML code, going in and out of that HTML environment in the design mode. One big benefit of having this in CRM, and you can do this with all the editors, is that you can bring in personalization right into the email from a lead, contact, and account record at CRM. So you can drop in any attributes that you might have under your lead, contact, and account records into your email. So in simplest terms, maybe we just want to bring in the first name of everyone in your marketing list. So it's just Dear John. Very easy for you to do that. You can bring in standard and custom attributes that you might have put under your contact and lead and account records, allowing you to kind of create a more personalized look and feel in these emails. But this is that freestyle WYSIWYG design environment. You know, you can really accomplish the same thing in all of the editors, just in a different way, so whatever you're more comfortable with. Then, of course, for those HTML experts, we have a custom HTML editor, and if you drop any raw code in here, it's going to render perfectly. So you have your HTML design mode and your preview mode. So one other way that you can create and send emails through ClickDimensions is through our Outlookcast, and this is a great sales tool. So you have the ability to create an email using Outlook as the creation tool, and then you can send it through ClickDimensions servers. So the way that you do this is go into your Outlook, create your email just like you normally would. You're going to add your links in there. You can see this has personalization. Then you'd go into CRM, and here's your marketing list. We're going to add this Outlookcast button on the ribbon of your marketing list. Once you hit Outlookcast, you get a unique URL that you just copy and paste, put back into your editor, or put back into your Outlook email, and when you hit send, this goes through ClickDimensions servers. So it looks very personal. You tend to have a higher open rate with these. It's a very way to send emails that you want to get personal responses back on because it looks like they're one-to-one. So that is really you have your 3 editors and you have Outlookcast for email creation. One other tool that you have to help you with the design is this inbox preview, and this is really great time saver for marketers. So it just allows you to see how your design renders on different platforms and mobile devices. So if you want to see what your design looks like in an iPhone versus an iPad, different versions of Outlook, you have the ability to see that. So let's get back out of PowerPoint here. I want to show you the email send record. So really what we covered so far is how to create emails and some of the tools that you have for email design. So this email send record here is going to be where you'd set your properties and where you'd actually initiate the sending of an email. So for every email that you send out through ClickDimensions, you'll create an email send record so that you can specify who your recipients are, and that can be any combination of your leads, your contacts, your accounts, or your marketing lists in CRM. And those marketing lists can be dynamic or static. So here's where you can send your email right away or queue it up to send it on a later date. You can specify who you want this to come from, and another benefit of having this in CRM is you can send these emails on behalf of the record owner in CRM. So they're more personalized. You can tie everything to a Microsoft Dynamics CRM campaign. So this really allows you one central place to attach all of your campaign content to. And if you have multiple, maybe you have a landing page and you have emails and or maybe multiple emails and you want to tie it all to one place, you can tie it all to this campaign and put the all-up campaign results in dashboards, create your own customized reports, whatever you need to see. So this is where you'd attach the template that you've created in one of the editors. And then you actually hit send right from this email send record here. Other tools that you have for email is this Spam Assassin. So if you hit the spam test here, what it'll do is it'll rate the content in your email and it will determine how likely that is to end up in a spam filter. It'll give you scores, help you along with the wording. You can clone these emails if you want to build something similar but don't want to start from scratch, and you can even initiate split testing. So what this does is it allows you to test 2 different versions of an email with a small sample size to see which version is going to give you the best results. So you might want to test different subject lines to your email. You might want to test entirely different templates. We'll just keep it simple in this example, and we'll send strategy B with the subject line, Happy Holidays. And strategy A will just say November newsletter. So once you've changed something, you're going to hit next and it'll bring you to the email that you've created, strategy A, and you can maybe change the background color to blue if you want on strategy B. Maybe you want to swap out an article you have in there. This is the full editing environment. You can make any visual changes that you need. We'll just keep it the same. We're changing just the subject line. So what this bar represents is the marketing list that you've attached to your email send record. So we have about 4,700 people in this marketing list here, and you just drag and drop to choose your sample size. So let's just say we want 10% of this marketing list to get version A, 10% to get version B that says Happy Holidays, and then the winning version after a certain length of time, maybe 3 hours or whatever is appropriate, and you determine whether that winning strategy is based on click rate or open rate. Once you hit send and save, the winning version, the winning strategy is going to be sent to the majority of your marketing list, which is 80% of your marketing list. So it's all very automated for you, just another tool to help you with your deliverability scores. So this email send record, where you set the properties, but also after you send this out, and I'm going to back up one step here. So this is a list of all the newsletters that we've sent out. You can see where you have statistics on the deliverability, opens, unique opens, clicks, unsubscribes, and bounces, all of your email events. But you can see them in a more visual way, of course. So here's where you see the overall performance of the email in terms of interactions, click rates, open rates, your deliverability scores. If you put social icons into the emails, you can see how many people shared by Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, or Google+. And then when you scroll down, here's the news feed of everyone in your database who interacted with their social networks. And then here's the social icons over here. So back on the ribbon, another way to see the statistics is on a heat map, which shows you an overlay of statistics on how the content is trending. So the way you'd read this is all based on overall clicks. So 6.63% of overall clicks were here in this article, 8.87% here. And then you can go a step further and pull a click report. And what this click report does is it'll break down your email, show you every link in that email, and by unique clicks and total clicks, how many people interacted with that link. So if I want to grab one of these more popular links, this will generate a sub-report showing me every lead and contact in my database who interacted with that link, and these are all connected. So I can go right into someone's contact record right from this click report. Now, of course, you're going to get the statistics in aggregate, but it's also going to be pulled right into a lead and contact record. So if I'm a salesperson and I just want to check out this contact and see everything that they've ever showed interest in from a campaign perspective, I can go to sent emails under marketing here. It'll show me every email that was ever sent to this person and their individual statistics on each of those email sends. We track email events, so we're going to show you every time an email was delivered to this person, any click or any click on a link from email. So this is every link that this person showed interest in from an email perspective. So all of this is tied back into the leading contact record, which can be a very, very powerful tool to have visibility. So a couple other things as we tie up on the email conversation. We're going to track all of your unsubscribes. If someone is unsubscribed from your communication using Click Dimensions, we'll put a block on the record and we won't send to them anymore. So that's a big piece. And then, of course, we have a nurture marketing feature, which is a really great way to, I guess the idea with nurture is that maybe you have a prospect who's not sales ready and you want to keep the message in front of them, let the appropriate person know when they begin responding to your communication. Well, you can easily put them on a drag and drop drip marketing campaign using our nurture builder here. And let's say, for instance, we come back from a conference and we might have 200 people that stop by our booth and we need to begin to follow up with them. You can easily put these people on a nurture campaign, and the way that you set this up is we'll send email number 1. This actually will bring you to all of the templates that you've created. So maybe we want to say, thanks for coming by the booth. Here's some more information about our company, maybe a link to see a one-to-one demo of the product. Well, then we can put a wait condition in there and say after 2 weeks, days, whatever's appropriate, then we'll see how this person's interacting with the email. Have they clicked on the link that we wanted them to? It'll drop into yes or no. So if yes, we can assign it to the appropriate person, or we can notify a team, add them to a marketing list. We can use any of these tasks as follow-up. If no interaction with that first email after 2 weeks, maybe we want to send email number 2, try to catch their attention in a different way. Then we can stick that wait condition in there, say have they even opened the email, and then it'll drop into yes or no's again. So you can drag this nurture on for whatever length of time that you'd like. Once you associate this with a marketing list, these people get brought in from step 1 and they're essentially on autopilot. So you might have 200 people all within this nurture at different phases depending on how they're interacting with the nurture. The idea is really just set it and forget it. So that is nurture. And then before we close up on the nurture conversation, I'm going to pull up my record here. So those nurtures are attached to marketing lists, but if you have nurture campaigns that are published and ready to use, we have the option on a contact record. We're going to add this Run Nurture button on the ribbon. So if I have a prospect that I'm working with who's become unresponsive to me and I want to put them on a drip marketing campaign, I just hit that Run Nurture button and I grab one of these nurtures that our team has ready to use. I can hit Run, and once I hit OK, this person will get email number 1 in the nurture and they'll go through the motions. Now if someone responds back to this nurture, instead of the marketing team getting notification that they're interacting with the communication, I'm the one that gets an email to handle the follow-up. It's a very, very powerful tool really for doing more with less. So that is nurture marketing. So that's, from a high level, really the email marketing functionality. You can also send out SMS messages now through Click Dimensions. So you can send out individual text messages, bulk text messages to marketing lists, and even text messages through workflow. So we don't charge anything additional for that. We partner with a company called Twilio for the sending, and it's a penny per message from them. So let's switch over and talk a little bit about analytics. So with Click Dimensions, we give you a full web tracking platform, and this is just a diagram showing you how we organize that and bring the data back into CRM. And so when someone comes to your website for the first time, we'll put a Click Dimensions tracking script in the footer of your web page, and that will initiate a cookie on the browser for this visitor, and that's going to track the company name, geographically where they're coming in from. It'll allow us to track their whole visit, every page view that they have with us, and we just don't know a whole lot about this person. We don't know who they are, but we can find out, and there's 2 ways of doing so. So the way that this person can identify themselves with us is by filling out a form on your website, giving us their information, or by clicking on a link in an email sent from Click Dimensions. So if they do one of those 2 actions, we know who they are, so Click Dimensions will automatically convert this person to a lead or contact in CRM, delete the anonymous visitor record, and then push all the old browsing history into the new leader contact record, so nothing is ever lost. We're always going to give you the full 360-degree view of everything this person has looked at from the first time that they visited your site. So let's go back in and I'll show you where all this analytics come in, or will come into CRM. So I'm back in the marketing section here under analytics. So under IP organization, we can see when someone comes in from that IP address, Click Dimensions creates this record for it, finds out geographically where it's coming from and what business the IP address belongs to. We can see how many visitors actually came from that organization if I click into any of these. So that's from an IP organization standpoint. This is that anonymous visitor record. We're going to show you each unidentified visitor who's browsing your site. So again, when someone visits your website for the first time, we create this anonymous visitor record, track all of the pages that they viewed, assign a lead score to them, and when these visitors identify themselves through filling out a form or clicking on an email, we'll check first to see if there's already a lead or contact in your CRM with their email address. If yes, we'll send the information to that record. If not, Click Dimensions will create a new lead or contact record with the submitted information, and this record is deleted. So that's the anonymous visitor. We're also going to show you every visit coming into your website. So this is really my favorite view from a sales perspective. It's going to show every active visitor coming onto your website. If these people are leads or contacts in CRM, you're going to be able to see that here. You can see the referring host, where they're coming in from, keywords that they're typing to get to us. I can see duration, how long they were on the site, lead score, total pages that they are looked at on that visit. I can even see these are all filtering in real time. I can see people who are on my site right now. So if I want to just see, for instance, you can filter and set your views however you want to see this. Here's visits from social. I can use CRM to see these, see this maybe in a more consumable way if I want to see social hits from a top 5 perspective. The data is being brought in tables, so you can set your own views, you can create your own reports to see this data however you need to see it. So not only can you see all those visits coming in, from an aggregate view, but again, you're going to be able to see all these visits coming in from a lead and contact perspective as well. So if I want to see, I'm back to this record here. I came to his records through that email click report, but if I want to see every visit associated with this contact, I just go under visits here. I can see this guy has visited our site 6-7 times. If I scroll over, I can see how long he was on our site on each visit, the lead score he accumulated on each visit, and how many pages he looked at on each visit. So when I double click here, I can get more detail about that visit. So from this view, I can see he came in through Google. He typed in Click Dimensions to get to us. This is him coming in on our homepage, clickdimensions.com. He exited on our tour page. He looked at 9 pages on this visit. And if I want to see every page he looked at, here's where I can see that. This is every page that he spent time on. I can see how long he was on each page. And this is the lead score that they accumulated for every page that he looked at. So that's kind of wrapping up the analytics conversation. Just to quickly touch on lead scoring, this is our default scoring method. So you can customize this however you need to. We give you this default method, and of course, whatever makes sense to your business, you can make your changes. There's even a way to customize your scoring so that certain pages on your website can be scored higher than others. So really 3 more things that I want to touch on before I close up today, and that's web content, building forms, surveys, and landing pages with Click Dimensions. So first and foremost, before I leave the marketing section, if you have forms out there, contact us forms, online content, any of that, you can create forms with Click Dimensions, embed them on your websites, and then all the tracking data is going to come back into CRM. So here's an example, under posted forms here, this is everyone coming in filling out forms on our website. So if I go into any of these forms, I can see every value this person typed in on the form. And it's the same thing with surveys. So if you're automating surveys with Click Dimensions and people are filling out those surveys, this is where all the data is going to come in. You're going to see the lead and contact that it's attached to. I can see every answer that they typed into this survey, and then we also have some advanced survey reports as well. And of course, you can export any of this data into Excel, You can put all this data into dashboards. You can create your own views, whatever you need to see. So the way that you'd actually create these forms, these surveys, and landing pages is under the settings area under web content. So we'll start with landing pages. You can build out landing pages with the same creation tools as you can with email. So you can use the block editor or you can use the freestyle editor to create these landing pages. You can clone landing pages, but when I go into the designer, you're going to see this is that block editing environment that I showed you for email. We'll give it a second to load here. You can embed forms or surveys into these landing pages, and of course we track these landing pages like any other page. We're going to show you who's visiting the landing pages, who's converting by filling out a form to take your call to action, whether that's for event registration or for content download like we're asking on this particular landing page. But the way that after you're ready with a landing page, you create it using one of our editors, there's two ways that you can embed these landing pages. Of course, here's the link that you can just copy and paste, put into your emails for people to access that way, share it out through your social networks, however you want to share this landing page out. But then, of course, you can embed it as an iframe, and this will essentially put this as a separate page on your website. So we host these landing pages, and when you set up your CNAMEs with us, a question that we get asked quite frequently is, since we're hosting this, is it going to appear on our domain? And the answer is no. When you set up your CNAMEs, these will appear to be branded. It'll say files.yourcompany instead of the files.clickdimensions. So that wraps up the landing page conversation. With forms and surveys, it's really a very similar experience creating both. So this is the initial setup process when creating a form or survey. This is a very simple demo form that I've created. You determine whether or not someone coming in filling out a form who doesn't already exist in your CRM database will be a lead or a contact. You choose whatever's more appropriate for your business. This is where you can attach an autoresponder template saying thank you for filling out the form. Someone will be in touch with you, of course, whatever message you want to put in there. You can clone these forms. And then the designer is a drag and drop interface. So you have all your form fields over here on the right, so things like first name, last name, email. So we'll just create a really simple form here. So we're going to use first name, last name, we'll bring email in there. So all your form fields here, of course, you can just drag and drop them in. We have different components that you can bring in. Maybe you want to add a section title, an image on your form, a file upload option, different components that you can also drag and drop in. And I'll just do a quick preview so you can see what this looks like. Nothing exciting, a very simple looking form, but what's great about these forms is that you can set post actions. So what this means is that you can build your processes around the forms, and if you want to add someone to a marketing list after they've completed a form, we make it very easy for you to do so with just drag and drop. You're not having to actually create workflows for when a form inquiry comes in. So if you wanted to add someone to a marketing list or set a follow-up task or phone call activity when a form comes in, notify a team, assign it to someone. So you have all these different post-action options with just drag and drop again. So with this confirmation text, it allows you to just, this will show up in the body of the web page. You can put a thank you in there. Someone will be in touch with you. Not a separate email, but it shows up again in the body of the web page. Or, of course, you can put them to a post redirect page, bring them to your home page or a pricing page, whatever's important, wherever you want to put them after they complete the form. The way that you'd embed these forms, this is the same way that you'd embed a landing page. So we give you an iframe or a widget code. You can stick these forms right on your website, or we have that link for someone to access as well. So that is, that's how you create forms with ClickDimensions. And the surveys I won't spend too much time on, and then we'll kind of go into Q&A. But the experience is very similar. This is what the setup process looks like. You can attach your autoresponder template. You can attach all of this content to a campaign, like I mentioned earlier in the call. You can clone these surveys. I like to show this survey because it has every kind of question. It has multiple pages. This is the survey, our production survey that we use for our customer onboarding. So you can see here we have multiple questions. The only difference really in the designing environment is that, you see it's the same drag and drop interface, but instead of form fields you have survey questions that you're going to drag and drop in. And I'm not going to make any changes again because this is production for us, but you have different components just like with forms. If you want to add CAPTCHA, page breaks, your own HTML, you can do that. Post actions are the same options, so if you wanted to add someone to a marketing list or send a notification, you can do that with just drag and drop. I'm going to preview this for you here. And you can also initiate skip logic with surveys now, so people can skip questions or even entire pages of questions based on their responses. So this is an example of one of our surveys for onboarding. You can see here we have an image, a line, it's multiple pages. The image changes on page 2. We have multiple select questions, star ratings, yes or no's, comment boxes. Page 3, you're going to see the image changes once again. So everything that you need with surveys, all the data is brought back into CRM for you. If I go to confirmation text, it's the same options. This is what someone's going to see after they complete the survey. Picture of our Chief Customer Officer, and then you can also put a post redirect in there as well. So embed options are the same. So if you want to put these surveys on your website or on any web page, you can do that with the iframer code. Most people like to share these survey links out by email. So here's your link, and again, this will be branded to your company instead of Click Dimensions if you set up your CNAMEs with us.